Hello everyone, today I'll be sharing the sample answers that I have made for this new topic. This is a predicted topic for September to December 2021 IELTS exam. I've prepared 2 sample answers, so please read along with me or do some shadowing. This is the complete topic. These are the bullet points. You should say who the person is, how you know him or her, what kind of person he or she is, and explain why you think she is interesting. The topic is, you are going to talk about a foreign person who you have heard or known that you think is interesting. So you are going to talk about the past and the present as well. Okay, when you answer IELTS speaking part 2 topic, for you to get band 7 and above in IELTS speaking, remember that you need to speak fluently without or with very minimal hesitations. Also, try to use idioms, at least 1 or 2 idioms in the whole part 2 exam or in the whole part 2. Why? Idiomatic expressions are a technical requirement in IELTS speaking for you to get 7 and above. Apart from that, you also have to use collocations and topic-related words, just to show to the IELTS examiner that you have the ability to discuss a wide range of topics. And as much as possible, make error-free sentences. And the most important thing is that you have to sound sharp and confident. Because even if you use complex words, even if you use idioms and you have error-free sentences, but then you don't sound confident, you sound as if you're holding back, then that is meaningless. So try to sound sharp and confident, okay? So I've prepared 2 sample answers. Please read along with me or do some shadowing. This is the first sample answer. Let's begin. To be honest, the foreigners that I know can only be counted on my fingers. But if there's one foreigner that I'm interested in, I think it would have to be Robert Downey Jr. He's one of the most accomplished actors in his generation, and his popularity increased more significantly when he starred in the movie Iron Man. As far as I can recall, a couple of years ago, I saw a bunch of his movies, and I especially loved Iron Man and Sherlock Holmes because his performances in these movies were superb. I immediately fell in love with him since he portrayed his roles very well. Although he had a dark past because he had an addiction to drugs and alcohol, he was able to make a successful comeback. In fact, he's now one of the most bankable actors in Hollywood. I think he's very interesting because of several reasons. First off, despite the fact that he was in and out of jail in the past, he was able to change his life and build a good career. He even said in one of his interviews that he's not a role model. Personally, I think he is a role model because he was able to move forward and leave his old habits behind. In addition, he's very down-to-earth kind of person. Despite his enormous success, he remains to be humble and he continues to inspire people, saying that it's not too late to change for the better. If given an opportunity, I would love to see or meet him in person someday. And I guess that would be all. Thanks for listening. Now let us review the topic-related words that you can use so that you can get band 7 and above. Can only be counted on my fingers. This is an idiomatic expression. Instead of saying very few, try to use this idiomatic expression instead. Example, the celebrities that I know can only be counted on my fingers. So instead of saying I know very few celebrities, try to use this idiom instead, so that you can get band 7 and above. I think it would have to be. Somehow it can extend your sentence. It can make your sentence longer. Okay? One of the most accomplished actors. Popularity increased more significantly. A couple of Instead of saying 2 years ago, 2 months ago, try to say a couple of years ago, a couple of months ago, so that you can get a good score in vocabulary. Now this one, we already said this, accomplished actors. This one, as far as I can recall. Every time you're talking about the past, even if you clearly remember it, try to use this expression. Begin your sentence with this. For example, 2 years ago, I went to London. So try to say, as far as I can recall, I went to London 2 years ago. Okay? Movies were superb. Superb is a good adjective. This is an adjective which just simply means very nice or very good. Example, he had a superb performance. Okay? He portrayed his roles. Make a successful comeback. Most bankable actors. So if you are a bankable celebrity, it means you bring a lot of profit. Example, she is a bankable singer because her concerts are always sold out. Okay? He is one of the most bankable actors because his movies are always a blockbuster. Alright? Instead of saying firstly or first of all, try to say first off. Despite the fact that, instead of saying even though, try to say despite the fact that. In and out of jail. So this is a topic related word. To move forward. Build a good career. He is very down to earth. So when you're down to earth, what does it mean? This is an idiom, which means you're very humble or you're very approachable. You're a nice person. Example, Brad Pitt remains to be a very down-to-earth kind of guy. Even though he had a lot of awards, even though he is extremely famous and successful, he's still very approachable. In fact, he talks to the crew. He talks to people behind the camera. So if you're down to earth, it means you're nice, you're approachable, you don't like to brag, you don't like to boast. You are humble. Okay? Enormous success. Change for the better if given an opportunity. Instead of saying if I have an opportunity or if I have a chance, use this expression instead. Okay? Now let's continue to the second sample answer that I have made. Let's begin. I know a lot of interesting foreigners, but I guess my favorite would have to be Emma Watson. She's one of the most famous actresses, not only in the UK but all over the world. She rose to stardom after landing the role of Hermione in the Harry Potter film series. According to the interviews that I've seen about her, she's an activist, feminist, and she's also been actively promoting gender equality. I've seen a bunch of her movies and I think she's also a superb actress. Now let me give you more reasons why I think Emma Watson is an interesting person. First off, she's a woman of action. I read an article that she traveled to poverty-stricken countries like Bangladesh and Zambia to promote education for girls. And I think it's amazing. Another reason why I'm fascinated by her is the fact that she's a brave woman. Several years ago, she was appointed as a UN ambassador and she went to some countries to encourage the participation of women in politics. Last but not least, she's such a positive influence. Other celebrities would flaunt their luxuries or their luxurious lifestyles on social media, but she uses her fame to empower people. She doesn't only post inspiring messages on Twitter, but she also posts on social issues. If given an opportunity, I would really love to see her in person someday, because I think that on and off screen, she's just an admirable person. So these are the expressions that I have used a while ago. Rose to stardom, landing the role, activist, feminist, actively promoting gender equality, a bunch of, superb actress, a woman of action, poverty-stricken countries, appointed UN ambassador, on and off screen, admirable person, flaunt luxurious lifestyle, empower. So these are some of the collocations and topic-related words. Now let's move on to part 3. This is the first question. Do you have any foreign friends, and do you think having foreign friends is a good way to know other countries? Yes, I have a few foreign friends. Because of them, I can broaden my horizon since I can know about their food, culture, and their working environment. I think it's a great way to have some friends who live in other countries because I can know about their way of living. Plus, I can learn their language, so I think it's really helpful. Do you know it's important to know the culture and language before going to another country? Yeah, definitely. Having cultural and linguistic knowledge can be essential, especially before I visit a country. Some countries have sensitive traditional practices, and if I behave carelessly, I might be in danger. In addition, it can be more useful because I can easily communicate with the locals. What do you think of people who work in international companies? Well, in my opinion, employees of global companies are very competitive and skilled. I heard that the hiring process of international companies can be stressful and difficult. So I always admire people who work in these companies. I also think that they are very lucky because they can have higher salaries and more attractive benefits compared to workers who work in small companies. So what abilities do people need to have when working in an international company? I believe it is language skills, mainly because there's a lot of foreigners who are working in a global company. I think aside from proficiency in a language, employees should be skilled in the latest technology. They should also have great interpersonal skills, since most workers in an international firm come from different cultures. Alright, so I hope this video is of great help to you, especially for those who have problems generating ideas. Okay? Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of the day. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions, please feel free to comment down below. Thank you so much. Bye!